Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out top 10 things you didn't know the UK invented.
Let's make history. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 things you didn't know were invented in Britain. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we've picked out some of Blighty's best inventions and ranked the ones which we think are often overlooked.
Blighty? Who's Blighty? Why haven't I heard that? Is that a name for Great Britain? The UK? Blighty, an informal and typically affectionate term for Britain or England. Why have I never heard this, y'all? I've been watching videos about British culture for over a year, and I've never heard the word Blighty. I mean, maybe I'm at the point where I have heard it, but I forgot it. I recorded and edited a reaction to Al Murray, the comic, and I uploaded it and everything, and I was making the thumbnail for it. I was trying to figure out what word to put on the thumbnail, and the word that came to mind was brutal. And then I suddenly remember, oh, I already reacted to this video, and I made a thumbnail that said brutal. It's crazy that that video led me to almost the exact same thumbnail, and during the whole video, I didn't remember the comedy routine this guy did. I totally forgot. It's like there's only so much room in my brain for this stuff. And the stuff that I did earlier gets washed away, killing those brain cells. Let me see if I can predict what he's going to say. Light bulbs, the internet, electrical plugs, good electrical plugs, jelly deal.
Number 10, chocolate bar.
What?
I've been eating a lot of Toblerone. I've eaten 4, and they've got 2 white ones left. Because they don't like them as much as the dark ones.
Before Mars bars, Dairy Milk, Twix, Twirl or Toffee Crisp came Fry's chocolate cream, predated only by bittersweet treats, including an innovative 1847 effort by Joseph Fry himself. Chocolate cream was the first bar to be widely distributed, hitting shelves in 1866.
Make the moment last with Fry's chocolate cream.
Dairy-free with a fondant centre, the idea quickly caught on with a certain John Cadbury starting mass production soon afterwards. Then came Henry Nestle, Rudolph Lindt and Milton S. Hershey.
Chocolate! Chocolate! Chocolate!
The chocolate bar. Fry's Krispy Kreme. Fry's chocolate cream is a great name. There's something about that that makes me want to eat it. Do they still make this? I think the fact that it's called a cream, even though it's not cream, but it is, it's a fondant. Fried chocolate cream. That's just fun to say. Chocolate cream. Chocolate cream. Chocolate cream. Chocolate cream. It's currently manufactured by Cadbury. Cadbury cream stick. Wow. Can I buy one now? Shopping. $2.19. Cool. I'd like to try one.
Number 9, postage stamp.
So can you set fire
Postage
to
stamp?
a postage stamp?
No. In fact, a postage stamp is legal tender. A bus driver would have to accept that.
Here's one to write home about. The heady history of the postage stamp boasts a series of major players, with most of the significant changes happening in London.
Ah yes, there it is, the penny black.
Sir Rowland Hill is widely credited with creating the self-adhesive item we take for granted today, as well as a regulated cost system, introducing the first stamps, the penny black and the 2p blue in 1840. Both bear an image of Queen Victoria and both are worth a pretty penny today.
So everybody who wants to send a letter will have to lick my face.
Number 8, Viagra.
Wait, Viagra? Hang on. Postage stamp. It's actually really brilliant. What do we do before the postage stamp? How did they make a postage stamp back then? What did they put on it to make the adhesive? Look at that. 1 penny. Oh, so first it started at, the London Penny Post, and they would deliver parcels around just the city of London for 1 penny, and they would put a stamp on it. A hand stamp. Though the stamp was applied to the letter or parcel itself like an actual stamp, like ink, then to a separate piece of paper, it is considered by many historians to be the world's first postage stamp. I'm not finding anything about the actual adhesive they used. so it was probably poop.
Number 8, Viagra.
What's the matter?
Yeah.
What's the matter? You just took a Viagra to have sex with me.
What? I thought it would make it better.
Sex is something of a specialist subject in British history. First, the vibrator was conceived by an 1880s physician who sought a cure for female hysteria, and then male impotence was solved largely by accident. The effects of sildenafil, or Viagra, were discovered in 1991, when a group of Kent-based Pfizer employees were researching a proposed new treatment for angina. But rather than righting the heart, the product precipitated other noticeable changes. The findings were quickly turned into a pill, sparing bedroom blushes worldwide.
You can't. Took Viagra.
Well, that's something to be proud of, Britain. Blighty. Viagra's saved some marriages, I would imagine. Blighty's got the mighty D. You know it's important. Got those priorities right. Get those boners going.
Number 7, table tennis. In truth, the UK is responsible for, or it had a major hand in, the development of countless sports. Badminton, that was us. Cricket, obviously. Rugby, football, snooker, and bowls, all at least partly British. Squash was invented at Harrow, netball at Hampstead College, and modern golf is Scottish. But we've singled out table tennis.
For the first time, a father and son are playing each other in the World Table Tennis Final, and neither of them are Chinese.
An Olympic sport since 1988, it began in Victorian England as a popular parlour game. Using improvised nets and paddles, players played over a dining table, often serving golf balls to their opponent.
Somebody said world peace was in our hands, but all I did was play ping pong.
All I did was play ping pong. Ping pong's a better name, but table tennis is more accurate. Ping pong's more fun to say. Oh my gosh. Did y'all hear about the guy at the Olympics who he won and he put his hands up or something and he dropped his paddle in the journalist area? Like he just was like, yeah. His paddle fell into the journalist area and the journalist stepped on it and broke it. And then he ended up having to use a backup paddle, which wasn't as good, I guess, or he wasn't as used to it, and he ended up losing. Who broke Wang Chukin's racket in Paris Olympics?
Welcome back to Rattit channel, the best place to learn table tennis.
All right.
Hi, I'm Coach Rattit, a table tennis coach in France. How are you today?
I'm good.
So who is breaking the racket of Wang Chuqin? Let's investigate this situation.
Sorry for the mispronunciation.
This is the racket of Wang Chuqin before the match with Truls Morgaard. This is the racket during the match. They are not the same. After winning gold in table tennis doubles, a photographer accidentally broke Wang Chuqin's paddle, which led to his loss in men's singles after the incident. That blank look on his face, as if his soul was leaving his body. He looked devastated after the photo, just letting the flag drop out of his hands.
He looks okay to me.
Like he was about to cry at the end. Regardless of which country you're rooting for, it sucks to see a competitor go down like that. The racket was not on the floor, plus a racket does not break on the floor. The racket was actually on his suitcase. His suitcase in the area where Nuna is allowed to enter, apart from coaches and athletes.
Nuna.
Here are the comments.
No one?
I've checked few other videos. There was actually a reporter who put the racket under his foot and banded it with his hand. It is crazy. How much hate could drive a reporter do this?
Well, that's a shame.
But all I did was play ping pong.
Number 6, flushing toilet. While there is evidence that early civilizations used water to sanitize toilets, it wasn't until Tudor England that a recognizable flush system emerged.
Oh God, I beg you, please. If you make this water go down, I will sit at your feet and I will serve you for all of eternity.
Sir John Harrington led the way, installing a basic model for Elizabeth I at Richmond Palace. But it was almost 200 years before this throne became a household convenience.
How about a courtesy flush over there?
South Yorkshire's Thomas Crapper perfected the U-bend in 1880. At the Great Exhibition in 1851, purpose-built WCs were all the rage.
What can you say about a flushable toilet? Changed the world. Made it smell better. It is a pretty brilliant thing to let the poop go underwater. Keep the smell from spreading around. Brilliant, brilliant. It's crazy that it was only in the 1800s, you know? For tens of thousands of years we were pooping in holes, covering it up with dirt, or in buckets. Thank you, Blighty, for the flushable toilet. I don't know what we would do without it. it would be a much different world.
Number 5. Guillotine. Though best known for cutting through French history, this deadly device was actually a British idea. Beheading was a popular way of executing criminals in the Middle Ages, but all that wielding of swords soon got tiresome. While the guillotine was named after a French doctor, early versions are recorded as far back as the 1200s in northern England and Scotland. The Halifax gibbet featured a crude axe head on a wooden board, while legend says the Scottish maiden was used to behead an earl who helped install it.
Wow, how many beheadings are you doing where you gotta have a machine to do it? The guy holding the sword, his arm got tired. He's like, I can't do this anymore. We gotta speed this up. Let's get this factory rolling. Like the heads.
Number 4. Jet engine. Historically, war forces ideas.
I feel the need.
Oh yeah, it does. The need for speed. And
First, the military tank was devised by the Brits for World War I, supposedly inspired by a H.G. Wells story. Then came pioneering advances in the skies. The first patent for the jet engine was filed by Sir Frank Whittle in 1930, but Whittle's revolutionary ideas weren't realised until midway through the Second World War, by which time a German designer had already adapted his plans. Furthermore, Whittle's ideas were also shared with America, meaning Britain missed its head start for their commercial applications too.
To gain control, you gotta lose control, right? I can't hear you!
The jet engine. Thank God for the jet. Thank Blighty for the jet engine, because propeller planes don't cut it. What's the speed difference between a propeller plane and a jet plane? Propeller aircraft are generally limited to about 250 to 300 miles per hour or so. They're pretty quick. A few souped-up aircraft fly at about 500 miles per hour. That's pretty quick. But those are racing planes, so not practical for private or commercial aviation, all right? So there is an airspeed gap because jets typically 500 plus. Can they go higher too? Jet engines and turboprop engines use two different approaches to aircraft propulsion. Jets rely on the principle of jet propulsion, while turboprops use propeller propulsion. No kidding. As speeds increase approaching the speed of sound, propellers become less effective due to aerodynamic limitations, which caps the aircraft's maximum speed. The table below Okay. Knots. I don't understand knots, and I'm not gonna... Wait, what? Oh, altitude differences. The Beechcraft King Air can go 35,000 feet, while the jets go like 40,000 feet. It's almost twice as much. Turboprop aircraft are more fuel efficient, though, looks like. Oh, jets require longer runways, and they're more fuel efficient at high speeds and high altitudes. Wow. Okay. Well, jet engines, y'all. Congrats. Feathering your cap.
Lose control, right? I can't hear you!
Number 3. IVF.
No way!
Introduced in the 70s, in vitro fertilization flipped some of our most fundamental ideas about human biology.
How many times have you tried now? 3?
9. The last 2 were in vitro.
Developed for the most part by Patrick Steptoe and Robert G. Edwards, it proved that a successful pregnancy could be initiated outside of the human body. Louise Brown was the world's first so-called test tube baby, conceived in a petri dish and born in Oldham. The birth raised ongoing ethical questions, but the procedure has become an increasingly available option, with more than 250,000 IVF babies already born in the UK.
Yeah, IVF is amazing. Some people want to outlaw it now, helping people have babies. This is a good thing. We're not making enough of them otherwise, apparently. I'm pro IVF. If you want it, if you want it. But also, no. What am I saying? I don't want to get political.
Number 2, digital audio player. Otherwise known as portable media player and MP3 player, or most famously, an iPod. You'd be forgiven for thinking that these devices came straight out of Silicon Valley, but no. The gadgets were first thought up by Kane Kramer, a London-based serial inventor who designed the iXi in 1979.
She's making playlists. She likes to listen to MP3s when she hunts.
Similar in size to a cigarette packet, with a small screen and 4 navigation buttons, the blueprints are uncanny.
Wow.
But Kramer's patent expired a decade later, leaving others free to act on his ideas, and that they did.
I mean, really, it is just a hard drive, right? With software that can organize the music. I mean, the technology for it existed for a long time, but he was the one that was smart enough to put it all together. Congratulations, Kramer. I loved you in Seinfeld.
Number 1. Motion pictures. We finish with Britain's mass of media breakthroughs. Thomas Wedgwood, son of the pottery pioneer, experimented with early attempts at photography, while the Scotsman, John Logie Baird, was the first to demonstrate TV. But Edward Muybridge takes top spot, thanks to his modestly named 1870s study, A Horse in Motion. Aimed to determine how a horse gallops, it featured a series of silhouettes viewed through another of Edward's inventions, a zoopraxiscope. That was an early film projector, and the study was a precursor for motion pictures and the movie industry.
Okay. Edward Muybridge. Edward. Oh, look at this guy. The dark past of the pioneering photographer Edward Muybridge. He kind of reminds me of Rasputin or something. He was born in Kingston upon Thames, Surrey. At the age of 20, he immigrated to the United States. So, okay. It happened in America, but he was British. I mean, okay. I'll give it to you. But, I mean, you could say that with almost any invention, unless it was invented by a Native American. That happened in 1878, and he moved to America in 1850. He was in America for 28 years before he invented the motion picture. I'll give it to you, Blighty. Not that it's my thing to give, but I claim him as a fellow American. Let's not argue, though. Let's not argue. Yeah, most of these I had no idea they were British. Chocolate bar, didn't know. Postage stamp, didn't know. Viagra, didn't know. Table tennis, didn't know. Flushing toilets, didn't know. Guillotine, didn't know. Jet engine, didn't know. IVF, didn't know. Digital audio player, didn't know. Motion pictures, not real. It wasn't invented in Britain, but it was invented by a British person. So, you know, it's a gray area, like my grandmother's. Sorry, that's gross. Anyway, thank y'all for watching this with me. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great weekend, or I hope you had a great week. I don't know when this is coming out. What am I saying? Thank y'all for watching this with me. And I'll see you tomorrow. Later.